This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man.
Boy!
Hey, let's talk about you, the ID10T community events at ID10T.com, like Russ Stevens, a.k.a.
Cat Bus Russ,
who has started a podcast called 90 for Chill, which Russ says is dedicated to movies with a runtime between 74 and 99 minutes, the time frame that I feel is ideal. Russ, I could not agree with you more. That is a fantastic idea. Russ goes on to say there are times you need a cinematic fix but don't have time for the latest Scorsese masterpiece or offering from a comic book universe. There's also times when you need a conclusion to prevent a binge costing you a whole night. My guest and I try to follow these guidelines as we chat up features that are definitely worth your time and are beyond easy to make time for. 90 for Chill, the podcast, can be found on all major podcast platforms at 90forchill.com, and that's spelling out 90, Ninety, 4 FOR, chill. So there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Russ. Really great idea for a podcast. Events at ID10T.com for everyone else.
Hello! Hey, Mon, come on! Look out! Good, you finally hit something.
Edmond Dantes had a love
Hey!
I missed you so.
that any man would envy.
As soon as I can afford the ring, we'll
I
wed.
don't need a ring. I don't.
You're under arrest. I demand an explanation.
It was you? Why are you doing this? It's complicated. I am innocent. You were a soldier. Teach me the knife, the sword.
Good. Too good.
He spoke of escape.
In return for your help, I offer something priceless. The treasure of Monte Cristo. Follow the clues.
You are wealthier than any man I have ever heard of. What do you want to buy?
Revenge. I will change my identity. I shall become a count.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Count of Monte Cristo.
Death is too good for them. They must suffer as I suffer. I'm a count. Not a saint.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Hello there.
Sorry delaying the conversation with Josh Nealis about the Count of Monte Cristo and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, but I have some apologies to issue. I have to apologize for not concluding it in my traditional way of thanking my best friend, Stacia Marie Harden, for keeping an eye on me and keeping me out of too much trouble. I hope she's doing the same for everybody else she touched in her life. And I hope she's squeezing the ectoplasm out of the most jellicle of cats, Skimbleshanks the one-eared angel. And I also have to apologize for Josh, for not letting the conversation get blue. I didn't realize how much obscenity I had with my conversation with Chuck Thomas from Atlanta Film Chat, but I appreciate his efforts to keep it PG-13. Thanks again for coming on, and look for his comic books under the Cutthroat Comics label.
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. And I looked, and behold, was death. Saying, come and see. And I saw. And hell followed him.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
All right, so I just got disappointed Siri. Let me know that we are good to go. This is I Dig Crazy Flicks with Cat Bus Russ, and today we're going to talk about two movies about 19th century vengeance. One a based on a classic novel, the other based on a modern classic novel. So, but this is based on the suggestion of Mr. Josh Nealis. Uh, I believe he is the you are, I should say, since you're present, the CEO of Cutthroat Comics.
Yeah, I pretty much wear every hat except actual artist. So
Mm.
everything from editor, writer, publisher, janitor, everything but the person that actually draws the books.
All right, yeah, and I've read up through the Stingray comic, and I was quite surprised after the third issue that probably your most known creations pop up. Um, One that automatically draws you to art that automatically draws you to your table at cons like Capital City Comic Con, where I met you in Lansing, being Pedo Man and kid friendly. So, you just can't help but stop and want to ponder, okay, what is this? So,
Yeah. Yeah, that that series in particular for those listening is it's very satire like Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights, things like that. But yeah, it's something I tell creators all the time. It's like you got to have strong covers because people walking by like yourself, they're not necessarily looking for my comics. They've never heard of me. Most people have never heard of Cutthroat Comics. So you have to have like really good covers, as people are walking by and they glance over, then they're like, "Whoa, whoa, hold on, what is this?" And they have to stop and take a look. So
mhm. Yeah, that is the key. I mean, it's less annoying than I mean, I could talk about guys at cons who are really out in front of their desk or table, I should say, trying to really push, "Oh, you need to check this out." And
yeah,
where it's a nerd community, a lot of neurodivergence. We're not exactly in the
right,
mood to be
yeah,
approached like that. So,
yeah. It's I have met people from super outgoing to not outgoing at all, and some people are very quiet. It's a tricky business. I try to be like right kind of in the middle. I'm not quite a
mm,
carny barker, but I'm also not just sitting and hoping somebody notices me by chance.
mm. Oh no, the moment they take a glance, that's you got to capitalize. I will say that much.
Yep. Yep, it's
Yeah.
a timing thing for sure.
Oh yeah. No. So, all right. Well, as I say, two movies about 19th century vengeance. I talked to a lot of friends when you brought up the suggestion that we'll get to. Like, and a lot of people, a lot of fans of this movie, and I know it was a reasonable hit back in the day. I think it was a spring release, so you're not expecting huge money if you're a
Right.
studio. Um, but yeah, I talked to people. Okay, really, I need something to sell me on the crazy element of it, and it's like, yeah, there is a swimming to get to the treasure, but otherwise, everybody's the Count of Monte Cristo is just a game of cat and mouse and vengeance, and
Yep.
pretty tame, all things considered. And as I say, I've talked to a lot of people, people who said, "Oh yeah, it's an underappreciated film," and I'd like to hear it, And you said it was one of your favorites, and I think you're probably just a couple years younger than me. I'm 45, and
Yep, I'm 43, so
right, all right. So, yeah, I think I saw one of your profiles and like, oh, graduation year. Okay, well, I'm a year older than all my classmates, so I get the
I was too actually. Because
oh,
yeah, in fifth grade the first time we moved a lot. And
okay,
yeah, I went to three different schools that year and
oh,
they were like,
geez,
you didn't learn anything, so we're gonna try that again. And then the second time in fifth grade I went to two different schools. So it was like,
oh.
geez.
Well, eventually they'll just
Yep.
a lot of discussion about education, and it's really memorizing things, I'd say, until you really get to Honestly, till you get to college, and then it's just otherwise it's real world experience. At least that's my experience. So,
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I didn't go to college right away. I wish I would have. I should have.
mhm,
I got offered like a walk-on spot on the soccer team here in town at the college, and I decided that I wanted to go drink with my buddies instead. So that's what I did. And then finally, when I hit about, I think I was like 27 or so, I was like, okay, yep, I'm tired of delivering pizzas. So I went to college and stuff and got a degree not in writing or anything, in
mhm.
biomedical engineering. So
Oh, right.
totally different, totally
Yeah.
different thing. But yeah, everybody's path is different. But yeah,
Mhm.
this movie in particular, to kind of
All
get back
right.
on topic,
Good.
is
No,
something
love a
that,
good transition.
yeah, it's, in my early 20s, at the same time, I made a lot of bad choices, like nothing dangerous or anything, but
Mhm.
I found myself pretty poor, mostly from my own doing. And I spent basically an entire winter in this little apartment, not paying rent, somehow not getting kicked out, and I didn't even have money for heat. So I froze. I would come home and I would get under my blankets on my futon, and I had this movie on repeat like almost all winter. So I've seen it so many times,
Mhm.
but it's endearing to me. It was something to help me get through, some bad decisions and stuff, and I learned a lot of lessons. There's a lot of lessons in this movie, I think, too.
Oh,
So
oh yeah. My first real familiarity with the story actually comes from a 1996 film. I think it was Barry Levingston directed called Sleepers about
yep, I've seen. It's been a while, but I've seen that. Yeah,
yeah, and
is that where they? Is that the one? Hang on. No, I'm thinking of there's two different ones. That's the one with the kids in the private school, right?
kids who a bunch I think four kids from Hell's Kitchen who, just go and cause trouble, juvenile stuff, and after a incident results in somebody getting smashed by a hot dog cart, they are sent to juvie for I think it was 6 months and a year accordingly, and that's where they run into Kevin Bacon and his gang of child molesters.
Yes.
And
Yep, that's
yeah,
the one I'm thinking
and
of. Yes.
right, and the idea of not necessarily escape, trying to settle the score with them, and then 30
Oh, it was in
years,
juvie. It was in juvie, not private
yeah,
school. Okay.
right,
Yep.
yeah, and
There it
then
is.
20 years down the road, they finally figure out how to hatch their revenge, very much like in the Count of Monte Cristo, and they actually reference the book in the film as the English teacher pretty much goes to the leader of the group, or not the leader, but the most reasonable one, the only guy
Yeah.
doing 6 months, and says you're really smart. This guy eventually becomes a journalist, but and really emphasizes the how much he enjoyed the Count of Monte Cristo, and like, well, where do you start when you're educating people about this book and when they escape? And
Yep.
so when I got to the movie, it's directed, I believe, by Kevin Reynolds.
Yep.
Probably
Who
best.
oddly,
Mhm.
yeah, oddly, I think three of my top five are his movies. Like
Well,
just strange. So,
well, I know he was kind of Kevin Costner's guy. That
yep.
he essentially he would shadow direct if you go to say Robin Hood, Men and the Prince of Thieves,
Prince of Thieves,
and yeah,
Waterworld.
and Waterworld. That yeah,
Yep.
and so I think he may have also directed the adaptation of Leonardo DiCaprio of the Man in the Iron Mask
I'm not
from
sure. Yeah.
1998. Just double checking that right now, which
It's
I
another
kind of
Alexander Dumas wrote both books. So,
right. And at that time, I was a pretty well. I was very cynical for a high schooler. But it was a year after Titanic, and
mhm.
I thought it was just mainly dare I say Leonardo DiCaprio exploitation
Yeah.
because Titanic, great work of art. I don't think it. I mean, I'm not big on the love story element. Like, let's just sink this thing, please. Um, and but as I say, great work of art. And but the repeat business for it, I think, solely was girls in my class just wooing over Leo. So
Yeah.
and so yeah, I was kind of again very cynical towards the the popular culture, I guess, dare I say, at the time. And no,
Yeah,
it
I was
wasn't.
kind of like that too.
Yeah,
I was
it
kind of like that
wasn't.
too. Yeah.
No, so it was not directed by Reynolds, but a
I didn't
lot of
think it
people
was.
give Reynolds credit for kind of bringing some respect back to Dumas adaptations, at least the American ones.
Yeah.
Definitely a better functioning film than the Musketeer, the attempt to integrate Hong Kong action, uh, mainly wire fu.
Oh, I forgot about that until just now. Yeah. When did that come out? What, 2008 or something like that? Or
2001, I believe.
okay. Yeah.
Fresh off the Matrix, and
Yep.
then the Man with the Iron Mask had middling reviews. So,
So I really like the Man in the Iron Mask as well. I mean, just the cast alone
oh
is
yeah,
insane.
Jeremy Irons, I think Gabriel Byrne. I have the IMDb.
Malkovich. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And what's his
So,
name? He was funny in it. Gerard Depardieu.
oh, okay, yeah. That be well. While you could still cast him,
Hmm.
I don't think he's considered a predator, at least by European standards. But
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that.
oh yeah, he'd been saying silly stuff to begin with all the way since he kind of made it to the States with Green Card, and then you just hear other stories and like, yeah, that's kind of like Marlon Brando on this set of Last Tango in Paris type stuff. So still held in high regard by the French, but that's also where Roman Polanski's hiding out. So
Right. Yeah.
and what I've seen of Polanski, it's like and hearing those stories, then it's just basically yeah, let's not get ourselves canceled here. So yeah, all right. So I've as this is a honestly, I just with this movie, I was not really impressed by any of the action sequences, and honestly, it just takes a while to warm up. I don't think it really picks up myself until we get to when he finally goes to prison, and you bring in one of my favorite character actors, Michael Wincott, as the warden.
Yep.
And
Yep. Also from Prince of Thieves.
yes, yep. And so once he starts Wincotting it up, and then you eventually get Richard Harris in one of his last roles, uh, coming off his Dumbledore fame. It kind
Yeah.
of
Yep.
it takes a while to build, so I think maybe cut 20 minutes off myself of the opening with Napoleon, but that's as I say, it's just very much like feels like going through the motions. Maybe I'm missing something there, but um so there's but yeah, and I think it's really kind of directed a little or cut really like once they get to the prison, then it everything just tries to get cut to point A to point B. Not a lot of drama involved with that, despite you got great performances from Luis Guzman
Yep.
and yeah, and once Guy Pearce is just totally committed to being the heel, which I think is kind of the flaw. Guy Pearce is best as a bastard, not an implied one, which is what the first act of the film is.
Right.
So, I mean, those are my just some of my thoughts on it, and and then it feels like maybe we could have given Henry Cavill more to do as the son of the Count. Well, sorry, spoiler on that one, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the first time I ever saw it. Actually, when he became Superman, I was like, oh, that's the kid from Count of Monte Cristo.
oh yeah, my mom watched a few seasons of The Tudors. She's a big Anglophile, so
Oh yeah, he was on that too. Yeah, I forgot. That's a
yeah,
great show.
yeah, it's fun. Definitely. Hell of a cast.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan Rhys Meyers. You get some Natalie Dormer pre Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. Sam Neill, of course. That was probably why my mom watched that one because she's very much like as a. I think it was Kit Harington who explained Game of Thrones the best. The first season is just tits with a chance of dragons, very much in this. So um, she likes to hold herself above that, but yeah, she so um, but it is, and this is also like Jim Caviezel. I don't know if this got him Passion of the Christ, and then his further in his insanity to fit in with
Right.
the
Yeah, he went a little
scene,
off the rails a little bit.
right? But I mean, there's a lot to like about it, as they say. I'm an aspiring director, dare I say. I have written
Yeah.
myself a few drafts from my days in professional wrestling, and then about fictionalized stories on that, and then eventually I saw a B movie double feature at this old independent movie theater we had in Peoria. And when they say B, that's a giving those films too much credit. Those are Z or no budget movies. And it's like, oh, I could drop what I'm doing and write one of those. I have friends who will love happily work with me, and yeah,
Yeah.
didn't come to fruition. So um,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can get movies like that that are still pretty good. Like there's
mhm,
I ran like a movie review web page before I opened up Cutthroat Comics, and I can't remember. This guy sent me his movie, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. It was through Twitter and stuff, but
mhm.
it was actually pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. I can't,
Oh no, there's a
yeah,
if you know what it is, there's I mean this is it's really those kind of movies are more just an appreciation of effort, which
right,
which really plays towards I say Cutthroat Comics with the it's really just pushing it and getting it out there, and
yeah,
there's always stuff as the critic you can go and say can be cleaned up or tampered down or enhanced, but that's stuff you learn. You gotta just keep going out and doing it. So,
yeah,
and that's
yeah. I mean, it's
I mean that's how
as
James.
somebody.
Mhm.
Just like anything, the more you do something, you would hope the better you get at it. And I would say, I would imagine, like you said, you read all three Stingrays. I would imagine from one, two to three, you probably noticed like, oh, the dialogue got better, and this and that.
Mhm.
I would hope so. I mean,
Yeah,
that's something I noticed when I look through them. So
right. Yeah, it's kind of takes a little in the first volume to oh, this is a one of my favorite books is Porno, but not Porno. That's well, it's a good one by Irvin Welsh, but Sock by Penn Jillette. And
okay.
Penn is very much. I think he ends every paragraph in this 400-page novel with a song lyric.
Hmm.
So going out of his way to make those culture references. And I'd say once you get to about halfway through one, then you kind of get a feel of, oh, this is where it's going to go. And then everything makes a lot more sense once you get through two and three. So,
Yeah,
but it just, is it does improve. And, once you get a vibe of that at the end of one, then you definitely know what you're getting, you're ready
right.
for what's going to happen next. So, Um, I guess other things about sorry, weak transition. The Count of Monte Cristo is like this is one of those. Well, it's Kevin Reynolds, so accents are all over the place in a sense.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't seem to care about that too much.
Right. Well,
Um,
at least with
I don't know. I like that it's got like it's got a little bit of history in there, and it's fairly
oh yeah,
fairly in line with what really happened, kind of, sort of.
right.
Um,
The entire
uh, you know,
Napoleon element of
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's got. I like the names. I think people have like the cool character names are fun. I
Hmm.
think everybody has really cool names, and it's fun to listen to them say their names and stuff. And it's got a little bit of adventure, and then I think ultimately it's just the main. story and the plot to me that drew me into it. It's really, the twists and turns and all that, how he, not to give the movie away, but how he enacts his revenge and stuff is pretty cool. And then like the gun in the carriage and all that at the end
Mm.
there,
Oh
towards the end
yes.
there, I thought that was a strong scene. And
Hmm. It just has a vibe that it happens all so quickly though. Once they which is good when you're watching a 2 hour movie. It's like, well, it doesn't feel long. That's probably the
right.
best thing about it.
Yep.
Um,
Well, it's an easy watch too. It's not
yeah,
something like you could zone out for a couple minutes and still kind of figure out what happened and all that.
right. And I would say actually, you're like I had similar experience in my mid 20s about just movies as comfort, essentially.
Yep.
So I was finally had gotten myself a good wrestling trainer, so I'm doing that. But in the meantime, I'm trying to take care of the roommate of my late best friend, who pretty much they were roommates just because of heroin addiction, and eventually it's comes down to just having like VHS tapes. That's how I quit smoking. It was basically one night where we're just watching VHS tapes, no drinks, no snacks, just cigarettes, and next day just quit cold turkey. Like,
I
um,
think that's probably the way to do it. I've been told anyway.
I yeah. Well, my it's funny because about every 20 years my life, or no, 10 years my life goes and takes drastic changes and seems like it's gone completely to hell. But Count of Monte Cristo is a just really if you I don't know. It's kind of like if you focus on, if you have something to focus on, something to live for, no matter what it is, dare I say. And revenge is not something I advocate. Like, but yeah, you can make it through, and I think that's a very strong message. And you know, you can't. And the characters on the account side are very likable. The pirates.
Yep.
Luis Guzman, who becomes his butler essentially. Um,
Right hand man, yeah.
yeah.
And I like him too. Like I would almost argue that he was not right for that role, but he's just so lovable that it just kind of it works.
Oh yeah, it was a interesting time for Guzman at the time because I think he was getting some more comic work, at least
Yep.
in movies. I know he's a successful comic anyhow. Um, like I know but in the meantime, I think he had a short-lived TV show that came from this, and this is 2 years after Traffic,
Hmm.
where he had a pretty prominent role, I would say.
He was in
Um,
Boogie Nights a little bit too, I think, right?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's well, yeah, all the best work with him. Like it goes I know John Landis hasn't been at his best in probably 35 years. Did a great I thought he had a fun adaptation of the Burke and Hare story with Simon Pegg as Burke. Well, I can't remember who Burke and Hare, which one was which, but Simon Pegg and Andy Serkis as two grave robbers, yeah,
Oh
occasional
yeah, yeah, yeah.
occasional
Okay, yeah,
murderers
yeah.
to
Yeah,
supply.
that was a fun movie. I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't like great. It was just kind of fun to watch. I remember that now.
right.
Was it Andy Serkis or was it?
It it was Andy Serkis and Simon Pegg,
Okay.
uh, Tim Curry and Tom Wilkinson were the competing
Yeah.
medical school heads,
Why am
just
I
needing.
thinking Johnny Lee Miller was in that too? Or was he in a
Uh,
movie
that
similar
one
to that?
that one is I think is Robert Carlyle and Johnny Lee Miller. I have not sat and watched it, but I have a I bought like when a video store was getting rid of all their VHSs.
Hmm.
I bought it. It's from '99. Liv Tyler's in it, I believe, as well. Oh, Robert Carlyle. But it's this
Plunkett
person.
and McLean.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, yep.
that person and
That's a
this
fun
person.
movie. That's
Oh
a fun
yeah,
movie, actually. Yeah.
oh yeah. I think I started watching it and then girlfriend drama at the time. So, um, yeah. So it's definitely the Count of Monte Cristo is definitely worth a watch. As I say, I kind of wish we would have. That was just like there was just not a lot of flair to the direction, say, of the action. Like I,
Yeah.
better director could have made the knife fight a lot more interesting. And it just between Guzman and Caviezel, um, like this guy did Little John versus Robin Hood and
Yep.
made it more than just two guys rolling in the dirt.
Yep. Well, and
Uh,
even the fight between Costner and Rickman there at the end.
oh,
That
right.
was
So and so you said two of your three favorite movies. What was the other one then?
I think three of
Three.
five are
Oh, three of five. So
yeah. So it's Fight Club and then Count of
okay,
Monte
yeah.
Cristo,
Oh,
Robin Hood,
mm,
Hook, and then Waterworld, or Waterworld and then Hook. It kind of
okay,
switches around. And I will
definitely.
defend Waterworld. That is a fun movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no, no, I can stand behind Waterworld. Hook was kind of like the first disappointment I saw, I'd say, from Spielberg. Um, I don't know. I'll have to compare them someday between Temple of Doom and Hook.
Yeah,
Um,
even Spielberg has. I've heard that he has said he doesn't even like Hook, but I don't know. I love that movie. It's
mm.
just it's a nostalgia thing for me.
Oh yeah, no, it's a movie.
Sure.
It's one you can't go back and watch with a critical lens, dare I say.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I've tried to, and I'm like, I just love this movie.
oh yeah, no, no, it's yeah, it's I get it. I mean, there's that we all have that type of film. So, well, let's see that. I don't know if we have any other thoughts on the Count of Monte Cristo before. I could have made a cheap autoerotic asphyxiation
Yeah.
some jokes there as he's contemplating
Um,
hanging himself. But
yeah, I mean, it's got a good cast. It's got a solid
Mhm.
director, in my opinion. It's one of those movies that it's very rewatchable. A good Sunday movie on the couch. And then there's also the original one that was in black and white. I
Mhm.
forget when it was made, like the 40s or 50s or something.
Oh,
I
could have
watched that
been.
recently. I had never seen that one, and it was
Mhm.
pretty decent. So,
Yeah. Well, I see. Well, that just obviously gets a lot of. It got a lot of play in the movie Sleepers, actually, like little references to it.
yeah.
But
Oh, it was in V for Vendetta as well.
oh
He's
yes,
he's watching it.
yeah. That one is kind of wish I would have. So after the week after the Capital City Con, I was in Atlanta and ATL Comic Convention and
Mhm.
did see a good panel about that. Since it's almost been 30 years
Yeah.
since that. Oh no, not 30 years, 20 years since that was released.
I just
Um,
watched that again recently. My kid and I,
hmm.
Friday nights is new to him movie nights. So
All
I
right.
always pick out a movie and we watch, whatever one I pick out. But that was one of them not too long ago, a couple months
Mm.
ago. V for
So,
Vendetta.
mhm. Oh, sad thing though is at least 20 years ago it wasn't so poignant. Like
Yep.
y- you
That's
know,
why I put it on, honestly. I was like, you need
right.
to watch this movie and pay attention.
Oh yeah, no, it's just very very weird time for entertainment.
Yep.
Obviously, with the recent. Oh, he said bad things about a guy whose neck exploded.
Right.
Uh, Jimmy Kimmel, and then yeah, I'm surprised the clip of the show, Stephen Fry's demise, essentially, or at least the catalyst
Yep.
for his,
I,
for his
I actually, yeah, I
demise.
thought I thought the same thing. I was like, this is just like in V for
Yeah,
Vendetta,
why?
just
I just
shorter.
yeah. Why hasn't that been showing up more in
Yep.
memes? I
Yep.
mean, yeah, it's just more. I think a lot of hatred towards Charlie Kirk, but yeah, that's that is a. But it's but I look back at the last season of The Boys and like, yeah, that I really thought since they shouldn't be able to nail that. What's going to happen in November?
So, yeah, yeah,
So, but you talk about crazy stuff like The Boys and what we thought was crazy with V for Vendetta. Oh great. Throw in a pandemic and boom.
yeah.
You have my recommended story just to make sure we had a crazy flick on it, and it actually follows the 90 for chill rules, which was the founding of this podcast. That movie should be between 70 and 100 minutes. I don't count the credits. And that would be our second 19th century vengeance story, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Uh, it took me a while to. I saw this in theaters, and I was really kind of like, I had fun, but I was kind of like, I had seen Wanted and the Night Watch and Day Watch movies from director Timur Bekmambetov, um, and with the craziness of that and the stylized elements of it, it I guess I would say with Timor, it was basically like you give me, you know, dingy Chicago or Moscow and cheaper effects. I'm a little more comfortable with that. And not there's not an excessive amount of humor in this movie, which kind of surprises you when you have Alan Tudyk in the cast.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I forgot. I just put this on the other day while I was kind of doing stuff around the house just to kind of get my memory back on it because I own it. I think I've only ever watched it like once though. But yeah, when I put it on, I was like, oh, like every couple minutes when a new cast member popped up, I was like, oh, I forgot they were in this. So
yeah, but and then Beckmanitoff followed this off the remake of Ben-Hur, which was not a wise decision. You're just I mean, there's some things to like about that one. I mean, Morgan Freeman, you can't hate.
I
And
forgot they even did that movie. I don't know that I ever even watched it, to be honest.
you're not I think I picked that up when it may have been $5 on iTunes. So
Yeah.
don't pay full price, but there's a lot of actors that I happen to just like in the movie as well. And now I think he's pretty much got a nice balance kind of with the um shooting out just outside of Russia. He's actually a Kazakhstanian. Um, and I know Tim Burton had a lot of influence on this film as well. And I would say the extras, at least on the iTunes, you have a fun little conversation, animated conversation about vampires between Lincoln and Edgar Allan Poe, voiced by oh shoot, I'm just trying to remember his name, like Clifton Collins Jr., I believe it is.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah, as Edgar Allan Poe. So, I like the mid aughts and to the late aughts was kind of a weird time where you had Cliff Curtis and uh, Clifton Collins Jr. getting the same type of roles.
Mm,
Cliff Curtis, New Zealand actor, probably best known for Sunshine as the scientist just obsessed with the sun's brightness and such. And
okay. Looking him up just to see.
yeah, he's in
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
yeah,
yep. Okay.
yeah. So
That was a
and
good
he
movie too. I've only
oh
watched that one once because it gave me so much anxiety towards the end. I was like, this is a
oh
great movie.
yeah,
I was like, I'm not watching this again. Like, that's Danny
yeah.
Boyle, right?
Yeah, Danny Boyle directed. I think it's an Alex Garland script, and if you've seen what Alex Garland has been doing, it always, with the exception of Dread, it always gets intense.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real. Kelly Murphy was in that, I think, too.
Yep. Rose
Uh,
Byrne,
Chris,
Chris Evans,
Chris Evans. Yep.
Michelle Yeoh, Benedict Wong. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
hell of a cast.
Hell of a cast. Yeah.
Yeah, and just not a movie. That was just it. Like Danny Boyle was until he got to Slumdog Millionaires was not really making movies the I think audiences were ready for. Train Spotting is actually my favorite movie. So
Of his.
yeah,
I don't
well,
think.
my favorite movie. So
Oh, just period. Okay.
yeah, I mean, I don't watch it as much, but as say Star Wars is obviously what I
Yeah.
grew up on. But yeah, so that's a
Yeah, I can't think of a movie he's done that I did not like. So that's, I mean, that's pretty good
yeah,
track record.
yeah. No, I can't say the same either. So uh, but with Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, it opens with the basic line that we prefer legends to men, and this is just adding to the legend of Abraham Lincoln. Like it kind of made me think, well, let's what kind of sequels could we make from this? I think there is a sequel, but not involving Lincoln. Um, since that was something funny I found on Wikipedia that they stated Mary Todd was kind of abusive towards Abe. So made me wonder, hey, we're gonna be late for the theater. Was it a setup? So, but I was thinking sequels like, oh, geez, China would probably appreciate if I wrote Mao Zedong Vampire Hunter to justify the glorious revolution.
Yeah, like this movie for me, like I'm not a big fan of like this kind of thing necessarily.
Hmm.
Like I remember this was kind of one of the more first prominent things like this, I think. Now there's tons of them, but
Right. Yeah, I think at the same time they were trying to actually get ahead to Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which is an okay
yeah,
movie, but again, same author book wise.
yeah.
Um,
It's
I guess I just couldn't figure out if girls would go and see an action movie, a zombie action movie,
right.
because I have a niece. Her name is Charlotte, and that's definitely from my little sister's love of the book. So
But
of Jane Austen's, not
Jane Austen's, yeah,
not the I can't call the the writer of this film's name, Sean.
of the Pride Prejudice one with Keira Knightley. Is that what you're looking for?
Oh no, well, no, the director of the screenwriter of Abraham Lincoln,
Oh,
Vampire.
gotcha.
He wrote the his first success was the novel Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I like this
Mm,
movie actually quite a bit.
mm,
And I liked that because when you see something like this and you're like, okay, that's going to be ridiculous, you know what I mean? But then you watch it, and I like that they played it straight. And I think that otherwise it would have not been good had they went
yes.
ridiculous with it,
Oh yeah.
like wouldn't have hit as good.
It would not have. It doesn't like it. Again, I kind of wanted some of that taste from Wanted, the
Yeah,
previous movie, which is action, all tongue in cheek, though. And I mean, I think that was based off a comic as well.
Wanted, yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, um, but no, it in the end, like you do it. This does serve better from just being a straight drama, at least in terms of um, the storytelling. Just the occasional joke um, and giveaways, and I think if there's any real problem with this feature, I think it's primarily continuity is kind of thrown out the window, especially by the end. It's 80 miles to Gettysburg from Washington, and we got to get all this silver in to stop the vampire horde. And, that's, maybe a night train thing, and then how they get the silver there, not to give spoilers. Does it 80 miles? I've played Oregon Trail. You don't get to go 80 miles in a day.
right.
Um, but there's a lot of like the best thing about Seth Graham Smith's story though is I think the now I again another thing is the mess up of the vampire lore. Like it starts Lincoln's revenge is starts with his mother being killed by a vampire, but she's bit, but she doesn't seem to be totally drained. And then our Dominic Cooper's Henry, the vampire hunting trainer and a former vampire hunter, he gets bit, but he just turns into a vampire. So little things like that bug me, but the entire idea that the vampires decided to beat the colonists to the new land was was very interesting. Like my initial note was, huh, do they just prefer dark meat since they seem to really focus on the slaves, and then it's just basically like they arrived in the new world and fed off. No, nobody cared about the natives, and it probably gave birth to all the native legends.
Right.
But then once the South came, the colonists came with slaves, like, oh, they can just import the food to us. And
Take out.
yeah, and and then you have and it really just tells you the evil. It's a great story about telling you the evils of slavery. Like if it wasn't evil on its face, think about what it could be. And yeah, this was 2012 release date. I don't know if you could get it sold today. Like you'd have to probably be more tongue in cheek, or you need a director, say, like Ryan Coogler, to get this to work. Because of how heavy the racial elements in discussion would be. Um, so that's if anything, I think flaw wise with this one, aside to the continuity, is that and this is after watching a 5 hour wrestling pay per view before it, getting to this rewatch, is that it feels like one big what they call promo video. The action is cool, but it's basically like, oh, that's just the high spots, the high moments from previous fights and stuff as they're built to a main event. And then once you get to the finale on the train, it kind of all pays off that way. But I guess it's one of those you kind of wish for something a little until you get to that payoff. There's a part of me that's kind of wishing again for something really over the top and cool to happen.
I'm actually trying to remember the main guy's name.
Uh,
Benjamin Benjamin Walker.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of sad that well, if this movie would have hit, which it didn't, sadly.
Yeah.
It's 2012 though. I think that was the year of the first Avengers, or maybe that was 2011.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I remember
Uh,
thinking like he would be, you know, not necessarily the next big thing, but somebody to keep an eye on.
mm,
Just kind of looking at what he's done. He's done a couple things that were decent,
yeah,
but not much
yeah,
really.
but he's um, yeah, I'm trying to get
And The
that
Heart of the
tight.
Sea was not bad. A little boring,
hmm
but not bad.
Right. No, he's a working actor. You know,
Yeah.
God bless
That
him for
movie was
that.
Yeah, that movie was funny just because you're sitting there watching it. You know, you got Thor and Loki and Peter Parker and then Abe Lincoln all on a boat together or whatever, or
hmm
whoever all was in that cast.
Yeah. So that was yeah, Avengers was 2012. So
Yep.
it's very hard to why why Gary when everybody sees a action movie like that, why you just get the influence like, yeah, why take my chance on a movie a weird property, despite
Yep.
um this one at least had a mockbuster. I don't know if there were any mockbusters for the Avengers. I think all of those came later. So many international attempts to create their own Avengers. I know the Russians have one. Um, but it's like go back to 1999 for me. Like, yeah, I didn't have anything better to do. I'll just watch Phantom Menace again.
Yep.
And I know what I'm getting there. And
Were there were there movies like this before this movie, or would this be like kind of the first of this kind of alternate history genre thing?
oh, I'm sure there were alternate history movies. Um, but probably the most notable, like middle fingers to history would have probably been Inglorious Bastards.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know
other
that I would throw these two in the same category per se,
no,
but yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, this is more of just something like this the entire story is from a you could say there's total plausible deniability when it comes to the history of it.
Right.
Yeah, like, oh, it's the journal Henry has that he's reading from. And
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, none of this happened. It's just Abraham Lincoln having a taking the piss out of the Civil War, dare I
Hmm.
say. Um, maybe writing his own, history written by the winners, writing another, an easier way to sell it so people don't forget. But it was
And I thought the Mary Todd getting her revenge on the lady vampire that killed their son. I
mm,
thought that was kind of awkward. How that kind of she just kind of showed up in the camp and ran at her. I was like, it's kind of weird.
yeah, I know. Well, I get it. There's definitely probably way too much to actually like most novels. There's way too much to, and this is a and it's a weird. It's honestly kind of weird that this movie is only an hour and 40 minutes minus the credits, and because this was a time where action movies could go like pretty much all movies were going. Oh yeah, as long as it clocks in around 2 hours, as long as we can get three shows a night, a studio
Yeah.
would just let them go nuts. So it's very weird that like, ooh no, I don't. Maybe it was more the idea that I don't know how people are actually going to react to this movie, so hence just let's keep it a concise something we can sell to TBS and TNT easily.
Yeah.
And because for the most part, I can't really say there's any real graphic violence. Like we're playing by Evil Dead rules, dare I say. Like vampire blood is black, or at least for the most part, very much the classic tricks to avoid an R rating. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were thoughts of trying to do that because there's
Potentially.
only
Yeah.
because there is only
Yeah.
one
Something
F.
like this.
Yeah,
Because it probably didn't have a huge budget. They want to make sure they make their money back, or whatever. So
right.
definitely want
So
PG-13 and not the R.
yeah, and there's only one F bomb in the movie. There is some bare breasts from a corpse, but I mean, hell, 1990s PG-13 would let that go by. So
Oh yeah, every day.
yeah, so it's
Is it just one of the guys that's probably not R-rated, is it? I can't remember.
no, that's not. Heck,
I think
you.
it's PG-13.
Well, that's an interesting history I constantly talk about because I occasionally I've been having success running a panel at cons called 1985 action movie triple threat match Schwarzenegger versus Stallone versus the Cannon Group.
Mm,
And we talk about how that year is pretty much the last year where it was just you could just be violent for violence sake with Commando, Rambo, and Death Wish 3. And then it wasn't until 89 when you had Batman, which kind of changed all the rules. Like, oh, violence is okay as long as you tone it down, as long as you tone it down to a certain level, and then everybody's copying that.
yeah.
But in the meantime, PG-13 was like heck, Beetlejuice is PG, and they Michael Keaton gets away with a couple F bombs,
Right.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
just one of the
so
guys I looked up is PG-13, and that's
yeah, I think
I
85, 86, just
yeah.
when it was created, but you know, you go back to Pretty in Pink as Jay and Silent Bob was saying, Pretty in Pink, all right. Got to see some boobs, no bush though. Um, so yeah, it's weird. So just yeah, it's just weird time though that they would do, like and because watch is a 2 hour movie, so just or maybe what they had to cut was just going to definitely slow her down, perhaps. So I like to call myself like my second stint in JUCO. I was an English major, and I like to call myself the most unread lit major you can be. My older sister is neurodivergent, so I had she and I was the person patient enough to listen to all our info dumps. And I'm just fortunate to have my dad's photographic memory, so I could fake my way through any test without having to read it as long as she read it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we didn't have, I mean, we a little bit we had the internet, but it didn't work like it works now, where you could just look up
oh
all the footnotes and all that. And
yeah, no, it's a sad state of affair, really. What the internet people are using the internet to just for shortcuts, not to.
yeah,
Um, I mean, and when I look at it, like, oh, I loved blogging, and then yeah, but people want a little more interaction, and dare I say, I was raised on VHS tapes, so I guess I kind of get it, but I do regret uh not being as well read, but I don't know if we'll have a generation that's going to regret that, sadly.
right.
Yeah, so let me get back to my notes here. You know, we're coming up on the 50-minute mark, and I think the big thing is you're on the show to promote something coming out, so take a moment and get that information out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I just started an OnlyFans, and it's just my feet though. And I shave them and I paint my toenails.
Hmm.
No. Yeah, honestly, I can't remember which books you all bought. Did you just get the Stingrays?
Yes, I did just get the stingrays
Okay.
at that
Okay.
con.
So, yeah, I did superhero stuff for a while, and now I'm working on zombie stuff. And I have a four part comic series. Issue one is out, and we are, as of October 1st, 2025, through probably Halloween. We're running a Kickstarter for issue two. Um, so it's the same art team. I've got Mike DiCarlo, who's fairly famous in comic books. He's done like he was first appearance of He-Man, first appearance of Booster Gold. He drew Death in the Family, where Joker kills Robin, Powerpuff Girls, tons of other books. But he's working on this series with me and my main artist Cristiano Reyna.
Mm.
And it's a prequel series to like a raunchy novel where a horde of zombies, businessmen, and a biker gang attack a brothel because they like cocaine and strippers. Oddly
Mm.
enough, that's one of my better sellers, right? Can you imagine?
Oh,
Uh, but it sells so well that I knew I couldn't just let it go with one novel. So we're doing a prequel comic series leading up to the book, and it's a lot of fun.
all right.
It's zombie stuff. It's it's got its Shaun of the Dead mixed with what's that Zack Snyder zombie movie that was
Uh, so there was the Netflix one was Army of the Dead.
yeah, that,
Obviously, he
yeah,
did the Dawn of the Dead remake with the
yeah.
James Gunn script.
Yeah, so it's a post-apocalyptic thing. So it's like,
Hmm.
set in the future, and zombies have taken over for quite a while now. I think the comic series starts probably around like 20 so odd years later after the zombies had taken over. Um, so it's well into that, you don't get to see what all happened there, but it's a lot of fun. People seem to really enjoy it. And like I said, issue two is on Kickstarter October 1st through Halloween.
All right, very good. And yeah, no, I went not a big Coke fan myself, but I did basically I moved out from Peoria, Illinois to Champaign, Urbana, Illinois because I was looking for something where I knew there'd be a little more liberal mindedness and but also at that point in my life all my friends were either bartenders or dancers, so it's kind of like you can't
Yeah,
push this another 10 years or so. So
you're right. Yeah.
but I may have pushed it 10 years too long. So definitely definitely love the vices. I won't question that. So,
Yeah, it's a fun series,
mm,
and
all
actually,
right.
the cocaine stuff is more in the novel than it is
Oh
the
yeah, no.
comics. So,
Hmm.
although if somebody wanted to buy a comic and tear out a page and roll it up, and I mean, as long as you buy it, I don't care what you do with it. So,
Well, buy two in that
yeah,
case.
buy two. There you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, oh, buy three. One for the one to put on the backboard, one to read, and one to snort.
Yeah, I should put like attach a little mirror to the back of the first of the novel or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I'm glad we could get some brainstorming done here.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's but I do love the intelligent zombie concept. Again, that's something that I would say Seth no, yeah, sorry. I'm trying to get his name right every time. Oh, come on. Enough backing. The author of Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, like
Oh, okay.
Seth Graham Smith, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is actually kind of brings up the intelligent zombie idea as well. So,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and
the kind of the shtick in mine, because you got to put your own little spin on it, is that I always felt like zombies, they would still be partially themselves.
mm-hmm.
So they kind of like group together in like-minded zombies. So like
Oh,
stoners
okay.
would be stoners and old zombies. Like there's a joke in the first comic about how old zombies, you'll either find them at the pharmacy or at church.
Mm.
So stuff like that. And so
Yeah,
businessmen, you know, they're zombies, but they're still businessmen. So they're like cocaine and strippers. So
right. Oh, I mean, got a questionable ending to my screenplay, Made of the Dead, involves playing on the concept that zombies, have only basic needs. Um, so I guess the sequels would have to go with the intelligence and such. But
yeah.
you know, in other words, it ends with a "Some Like It Hot" type tribute, and I don't know if that
I
would
never
actually.
did finish that movie.
Oh,
Yeah, we watched it when I was in college. I forget which class it was, but we were
mm.
watching that.
Yeah, okay,
And
yeah,
then the period ended and we never, for whatever reason, we never finished it. And then I have never I liked what I saw of it. I thought it was really good. And
yeah.
then I just have never seen the ending. I have no idea what happens. I need to do that. I need to put that on my list of things to do
Hmm.
now that I mention it.
Oh, yeah. With my film classes, I don't know. I had good enough instructors that basically said, we're gonna finish these movies." So
Hmm. Oh, it's like
syllabus,
Roots. I've never seen the
yo,
end. I've seen like the first two things of Roots and never seen the end
hmm
of that. So same deal. That was in high school though. We never finished it.
right. Huh. Well, at least you went to a better high school because I don't think we ever really addressed roots.
Yeah.
But no, it's basically I've been to plenty of classes where I guess we just can't finish this movie. But for the
Yeah.
most part, my instructors at good old Illinois Central College, they pretty much no, it's just syllabus be damned. Let's finish this stuff. So don't get to watch too much modern stuff, but hell, I wouldn't trade that in for M or Battleship Potemkin. So
Yeah, I remember my high school did a thing once. Well, they probably did it more than once, but I only remember once where it was like if you didn't get in trouble for, I don't know, half the year or something, they had a free day where everybody that didn't get in trouble would get to go watch a movie, and then like all the bad kids didn't get to or whatever, they would have to like. So of course I was not the greatest kid. I wasn't like horrible, but I wasn't the
right,
greatest kid. But
right.
I remember like after like when we went to lunch or whatever, we were all like, "What was the movie you guys watched?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, it was 101 Dalmatians, like the Meryl
The
Streep one." And of course, all the bad kids were like, "Yeah, worth it.
Yeah,
It was worth the trouble."
Glenn Close, but
Yeah. I always get them confused. They look
well,
similar.
I don't necessarily think they look similar. They just have such stature in the
Yeah,
industry that they get mixed up in that terms. Kind of goes back to the silent movie actors of the 30s, your
yeah.
Harold Lloyd's, your Charlie Chaplin's, and Buster
And
Keaton's. Like,
Glenn Close. I think again, if I'm not getting them confused, also in Hook.
yes,
Yeah,
she's
the
dre-
Boo Box Pirate.
yes, exactly, right. Yeah, it's
It all comes back, just like Count of Monte
yes.
Cristo.
All right. Yeah, give it 15 years. So there's a lot of little things I'd say about Abraham Vampire Hunter that also gives me fun little vibes, like the message that power is from truth, not hatred. So
Yeah.
as a Star Wars guy, like, all right, Cool.
Well, there's a lot of little nods to all the Abraham
Oh,
Lincoln War and all that, how he's not a liar, and
yes.
you
Oh
got the
no, and then
Emancipation Proclamation in there, and
yeah,
Mary Todd and all that. So I mean,
right. Yeah, no,
I think they
basically,
blended it well. I think.
yeah. Yeah, as I say, it's just more of the continuity. Like again, right now in my peripheral, we have the battle in New Orleans where just before he really goes political or um to save Anthony Mackie, another like
Yeah.
this was I couldn't tell you what Anthony Mackie had done before this personally, but
I think what, just 8 Mile maybe, and then this. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, isn't that well, I just no, it's sad I haven't seen 8 Mile because I've got so
Oh,
back with the back with my wrestling experience.
yeah.
They used to wrestle in the venue like the third biggest wrestling promotion, or maybe it's the second biggest at that time, would wrestle at the 8 Mile Club.
Yeah.
So
I'm not an Eminem fan, but I will say that movie was fine. Like it
mhm.
was okay.
Yeah,
It was I think it's overrated, but I don't have any certain gripe with it. It was fine.
I think it's almost going to be forgotten because it's still the director of L.A. Confidential, so
Okay.
they're going to immediately think of that movie first.
Hmm. I know I've
Uh,
seen the movie. It's just been quite a long time.
yeah, and but speaking about his honesty of Abe, it kind of gave me some Gross Point Blank vibe with that
Yeah.
because when
Yeah, I can
Barry
see
Todd,
that.
yeah, when Barry Todd, ooh, I see I'm boring company. Oh no, I've just been working nights. And what have you been doing at night?
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, it's no different than Marty Blank saying, I freaked out after high school,
Yep.
joined the army. I'm now a professional killer.
It's a good
So,
movie.
yes, yeah, that's all right. So, yeah, it's a just a great blend of, really, this is just blending the modern into the the 19th century when Count of the Monte Cristo was basically a 19th century novel playing to the fact it's a 19th century novel.
Yep.
So,
Well, and I guess so I don't know what you do, but I will when I'm doing paperwork at my day job and stuff, if I'll put on YouTube and I'll listen to like biographies of certain
mm,
writers and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess Dumas's dad was in Napoleon's army and everything, so at least in his novels, all that stuff should be fairly accurate.
oh, no, well, very, very cool there. I used to listen, like, that's how I got into podcasting primarily was when I was doing a job as a copywriter, uh, third party copywriter for Walmart.com. It's very interesting trying to write copy for condoms when Walmart won't let you mention sex.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to say? It's the bubble gum from the Coneheads movie, or or
Yeah.
like, oh, uh, yeah, you can't use the word sexy, so I can't say sexy
Yeah.
balloons.
Gag balloons. Yeah.
Right. So I'm watching. But I'd listen to podcasts there. Uh, Now my day jobs are retail primarily. I'm very fortunate with my family. Like, I don't know how they got to it, but they determined, I think Russ can do something with this podcast thing. Like, yeah, you weren't really there for me when I was trying to make a movie, or you were just hoping
It's
I'd get I'd get over
yeah.
the professional wrestling, but
It's
yeah,
a tough life when you're trying to do anything that's,
yeah,
you
if you're
know,
not,
creative or out of
mhm,
the norm. It's
right,
hard to get people to believe,
yeah,
that you can do it.
yep, there's no certainty in art, but I can tell you from my employment status at this time, there's real certainty at all. But no, but I still got my electronics store job, so I'm gonna at least keep myself entertained.
Nice. You
Yeah.
like sell TVs and stuff or
I primarily work behind more in the back office element of it. Or
okay.
I started as just a regular cashier and just good old reliable, which is the really killer thing about the that was my part-time job. The day job was another retail gag. Get well, it's a joke, but that was again just doing a lot of cashiering, but little some managerial duties. But then smaller, corporate just does not accept flaws there. So
Yeah.
I already ranted about him on another episode. So and that's why you get an LLC, so you can at least say, well, no, you can't sue me. Sue this and get blood
Yep. Sue
from
the
a
company and
stone.
get none of that money. Yep.
Yep. So so I hope we've given a lot of lessons with this podcast episode.
Learned a
But
lot.
yeah. But no, just to it's a comic book writer, novelist. It's in yourself. It's just again, really, it's all about just keep putting yourself out there, keep putting the effort in. And you know, maybe it's to be a creator, maybe it is to avenge your family, or
Yep.
but yeah, just keep focused on that. And
Yep. Well, I mean, there's I tell people you got to find motivation anywhere you can. So if I
mm,
really wanted to go that route of me doing this for that reason, I could easily do that because I definitely had a boss when I worked retail that sat me down in the office and literally said, "You'll never be anything." So,
oh,
you know,
jeez.
so I mean, if I wanted to take that approach, I certainly could do that.
Mm,
For what it's worth, he's no longer with us, and I'm still
mm.
alive. So when? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know it was Homer. I think it was Peter Griffin who said that about his one of Lois's aunts. Like Peter, you were never going to amount to anything, and you're dead. A win for Peter.
Yeah.
So, um, but no, just it's great to have a creative person on the podcast, and gives you a different element. At least I know it's not screenwriting, not for the big screen yet, but um, it just gives a great perspective just as what the creator and less the critic in this count.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, and
you know
it's fun. A lot of the podcasts
mhm,
I do are comic book centric and all that kind of stuff.
mhm.
So it's nice to talk about other things. It's because I don't remember our exact conversation when we met, but I'm sure we talked about movies a little bit. And I'm a
Yeah.
big movie person, so
Hmm. Yep.
definitely
And
I could talk movies all day probably.
right. Yeah, no, that's yeah, and then the day job kind of has to come in at some point. And
Yep.
yeah. And I got my cat, you got your kids, so
Yep.
but no, thank you. But getting the creative standpoint from it, I also like when and this happened a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, when the last podcast I did um, was a about the best of the best, the old '80s movie, and
Chris
like,
Penn.
yes, Eric Roberts. And like I watched it and like, oh geez, I don't know. But then you get somebody else and it gives you a new respect for a feature. And I'm
Yeah.
glad to get a better grip on the Count of Monte Cristo, and
Yeah.
not regretting that $3 DVD purchase.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much for coming on. Where can they find you online?
Uh, yeah, I mean, cutthroatcomics.com is the website, and of course, Facebook is the same. I use TikTok the most right now,
All right,
and until it gets whatever happens with that.
right.
But and Instagram's cutthroat_comics.
Hmm.
But those are the best places to find me.
All right, very cool. Of course, you can find the podcast at ididcrazyflicks.com. You can follow me on Blue Sky primarily, but I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. Just never been a Meta fan.
Yeah.
That's at CatBusRuss. And if you want to help the podcast out, there's a Patreon. $3 a month gets you a shout out on every episode as long as you're subscribed. So thanks, former guest of the show, Tim Bates. You can find him on episodes about 1989's Bloodsport in Space called Arena. And the horror classic comedy Night of the Demons. And thank you to former AAW backstage personality, The Scoop Staley. They also get a waterproof sticker, which I use on everything which is great at retail, with my water bottles and such. And you get access to the original 90forchill.com, the podcast feed on Patreon. That's $3 a month. If you don't do it for the podcast, do it for Ava, the Queen Kitty. That's 3 tins of cat food for her. And royalty should be respected. But you can also be a guest on the show. You can just send an email to rustthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTHEBUS07@gmail.com. And offer me a film, a director, an actor, a theme, as long as we focus on either movies that are just insane, off the wall, crazy, or if the film is between 70 and 100 minutes. So, I want an excuse to watch the Ethan Hawke's Before Sunrise trilogy. I'll happily talk about that. And of course, rate and subscribe on your favorite podcast apps. 5 stars preferably. Be as honest as you'd like in the comments. I do learn. I promise you that. So, thanks again, Josh, for coming on to the podcast.
No, for sure. Thank you.
All right. And anything else you'd like to say before we log off?
Oh, geez, put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Wash your hands.
Yep. Cough into the elbow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh.
Yep. Thank you.
Can I hear a wahoo?
This podcast was made possible by the love and support of Dave and Cindy Stevens, Rory Stevens and Allison Higgins, Danny Daniels, and Stephanie Smith.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.